Hello, my name is Anne Russell. I'm from the Russell Family Fetal Alcohol Disorders Association. I've been working in FASD since 2000 when I first found out about my boys having been prenatally exposed to alcohol. In 2005 I published a book called Alcohol and Pregnancy, A Mother's Responsible Disturbance, and it was really highly publicised and did very well for this sort of book anyway. But in 2018 I published a second edition of that book with an update of everything that had happened to our family. I guess by way of explanation, in 2000 when I found out about FASD, all I wanted was to read or listen to somebody else who had been through the same experiences. I wanted to know what another birth mother felt and what they did and how they coped. But at that stage there was nothing, not a thing. So I guess I wrote the book about our journey with the permission of my boys and my husband, to help maybe other birth mums or other parents and caregivers better understand how I coped, I guess, and how our family got through and is still getting through the issues associated with FASD. So I've been thinking that I would like to read out my book one chapter at a time, post it on YouTube on the Russell Family channel, and allow people to know what the book contained without having to pay $30 for it. I was never going to be a millionaire from this book, so it doesn't matter to me one way or another, but I really want to share our experiences so it can help other people. With that said, we'll start on actually it's the preamble. It's quite short, but next video will be chapter 1. This is the preamble. What disability results in sufferers being good at small talk but without substance? A kind heart but a violent temper? Complex needs but no insight? A small frame with big expectations? And perhaps saddest of all, a damaged mind with a beautiful face. That sentence was published in my first book, Alcohol and Pregnancy, A Mother's Responsible Disturbance. Since then, it's worked its way around the world and back to me with a comment from a man living with FASD. He was offended that anyone would say that he suffered from FASD. He didn't. He managed his condition without suffering. I'm very grateful for his comment, as it offers a positive perspective on a condition that's often viewed as quite negative. I acknowledge that the word suffering may not have been the right word for him, but it is the right word for my son, and it is the right word for many people with FASD. Those living in remote areas perhaps, individuals without a diagnosis, unrecognised and unsupported, trying to manage their lives alone until they can no longer endure the consequences. I'd be the happiest person on the planet if nobody suffered from FASD, but unfortunately I think that's a pipe dream. It's a diverse condition with a wide spectrum of effects, ranging from the incredibly complex to the almost wholly functional. For those families with the more challenging effects, it's not just the complexity of a person's needs over his or her lifespan, it's also the sheer frustration that they will experience when their child is refused FASD-informed support services and enlightened diagnosis and planning. While some organisations are keen to train staff on FASD so they can better support clients with the symptoms of FASD, others don't seem to understand that children who look neurotypical can have a disability. There are far more people with FASD than most can imagine. They're struggling with inappropriate diagnosis, unsuitable medication, harmful therapies, and misleading and hurtful comments. Few medical professionals seem to know what to do with a child, adolescent or adult with FASD, other than diagnose them with ADHD and put them on Ritalin. I've actually seen eyes roll when I've tried to talk about this condition in relation to my own family. I've been stressed and depressed from years of rejection for services and the ignorance, and eventually became tearful. In the world of FASD in Australia, tears don't seem to evoke compassion. To many, they're a clear indicator that the mother herself has the problem, not the child, who can look and behave as though completely neurotypical for short periods, perhaps even the length of time it takes for the doctor's consultation. Those children who show clear signs of hyperactivity are diagnosed with ADHD on the spot. Families live with FASD and they love their affected children. We suffer when people, particularly teacher, tells us that our child is lying and stealing, even though she has been told that it's a symptom of FASD, and it's not an indictment of the child or his parents. To those who do understand, it's called confabulation and misinterpreting ownership, not lying and stealing, and its source is brain-based, not values-based. This is when parents suffer. We suffer when the teacher wants us to do something about it, otherwise our son will be in detention every day for the next month. We know that reward and punishment don't work, but others believe if they punish the child enough, eventually something will stick. What does stick is anxiety and depression, which can lead to self-medication and a lifetime of addiction and pain. We know that our children try so hard to please, so we all suffer when we see that their anxiety has outweighed their desire to persevere. This cycle continues until the child has been inculcated with the certainty that she is worthless, inconsequential, and stupid. This is usually achieved without malice, but the lifetime consequences are the same. Children with FASD leave school early to get away from the pain. They try to get work, and because they're so good at talking, they do. But it's a hard lesson when they find that nothing has changed. The environment is different, but the experiences are the same. Their mental health suffers and strengthens their addictions. Parents know something's wrong, and doctors discuss parenting classes. Nothing seems to work. Time out has no effect, and pleading just encourages meltdowns. As they get older, they become known to the police, and eventually they do something that can't be ignored. Whether or not suffering is the right word, FASD can have far-reaching consequences for the individual, the family, and everyone with whom he or she is likely to come in contact. Thank you, everyone. That was the preamble. Next video will be chapter 1.